Hey guys, welcome to you, of course. Today we're covering the Worcester, this time in division with Lexington here. Byrd, lovely guy. I think he has his own channel as well, if I'm not mistaken, so go check him out. I'll leave a link in the description below. So, the Worcester. As of this video being released, I believe it will be after the patch notes, so I can talk about what's going on. The Worcester has been dramatically buffed. This is a pre-nerf, pre-buff Worcester, obviously. This is recorded before the patch notes even went live. This is a while ago, so this is interesting. This is showcased before the Worcester is buffed itself as of time this video gets released. Pretty strong, I think. It's just underappreciated. It really is a strong boat. You just need to give it the right circumstances and it'll do really well. Obviously 32mm bow stern. Stern's basically flat, so the stern is really irrelevant, but you can bow tank, you can put it a sizable amount of Daka down, you've got a lot of guns, you've got a lot of fire, you've got pretty good AP as well. You just need to get a good position and you can farm the world with this thing. It's really good in that regard. You murder DDs without a bother, you've got a lot of guns, very fast to traverse, you've got radar, you've got heals, you've got sonar, and you've got pretty mighty AA, pretty darn ridiculously good AA. Very similar to Colbert, but you have utility because you have that radar, and you can sit there happily and shoot over any island you so wish, because Worcester, shell arcs are very good. Much faster as well than Colbert, and faster gun arcs as well. You can see that's 11 kilometers away. You take another pot shot, 5 seconds, whereas the Colbert would have been almost double that. So yeah, it's a bit odd to be saying the American shell arcs are actually faster, but yes, they are. Bigger caliber guns means you can, with ELP, I believe you can pen 32mm of plating as well. And even without ELP, you can pen 29. So that's plenty fine. Obviously, this video, this is out the buff it gets. You cannot pen 29. Between regular pen would be 25, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 25, I think. Do correct me if I'm wrong, but we'll have to see. As you can see, as you get a good position in this boat and the enemy's pushing towards you, it's kind of like a similar Atlanta-esque sort of playstyle. You can just absolutely just constantly shoot. If you're constantly shooting, you're playing this boat exceptionally well. That's really the biggest thing, selling point of this thing. If you can constantly shoot, just use an island cover, abusing it as much as you can get a lot of work done here. 5 shatters, yeah, Yamato's got pretty spicy deck armor plating, but it doesn't really matter because even shatters can cause fires. So if you're going with a non-EOP build, and I think this is a non-EOP build, you be getting those fires like crazy. It's particularly with the new buffed version of it as well. Now, this position here, it really works well if the enemy's pushing towards you, which exactly they are. We got to give some respect towards this Yamato and these battleships here. They can easily hurt us. Yamato matches us, and Rooster is not very forgiving when it comes to taking hits from a Yamato. It hurts quite badly, so we got to give that some respect. And we're reversing up, minimizing your profile from this range is probably the better call. And looks like what is that? Curve Firing AP, we duked it, we were good. I think the Yamato's firing HE, I could be wrong about that. See the shot, I didn't see the shells there. I think that was curve for shooting, I guess there, I could be wrong here. It's very hard to see when you're doing these recordings sometimes. But yes, we're just going to Daka down wherever we can. We want to get our control of fire usage here. We've got fires set on Yamato, let's see if we can switch to curve first. Let's see if we can work on Conquer. You just want to spread these fires out, get as much controlled DPM as possible. Realistically, you just want to do damage here. We'd like to kill the Conqueror if possible. He's target number 1 if we can get him. But if we can't finish him off, just burning down the overall HP of the ships, getting the fires, getting their damage control procced will help out our team quite a bit, because that way, you know, they're on perma fires, they're on perma floods, all sorts of stuff could happen. And it really does just benefit in burning down, slowing them down, making them more vulnerable to more attacks. I believe our carriers also is doing some bombing runs as well, which is also triggering their damage controls, so they're pretty much constantly on fire, and nothing in this game can last too much longer with constant fires and constant floods potentially from the carrier as well. So overall it's a pretty rough situation for these guys. They can't really do much about it because they're covered behind the island. They haven't pushed out. If they're pushing out, you've got to do it earlier, so it's a bit late for them to do much really. We pick up the Wither award here. We've already got 10 fires and 110k. We're really just kicking it in, getting those fires set, and just doing a reversing island trick here, which is basically you fire and then you kick your boat into reverse, or you're kicking your boat into reverse as you fire. Because their enemy ship moves forward, it gives you a clear line of sight for the shells, but your ship is actually going backwards, making yourself still hidden. So you're actually firing from stealth without getting in line of sight, which is great. So that's how we do it. We've just reached the cusp of that though. Looks like they're even with their damage loss over time, the DOT damage is getting pretty high up there. It looks like they're gonna have to. They're still gonna meet with us a little bit here. So this is pretty risky here. We had to just pull back. We can't get greedy. We don't want to be in front of a Yamato and a First and potentially Conqueror in a Worcester at any angle. It's gonna hurt. So we gotta give us back. We gotta give some time for the damage or for the time effects to kick in a bit more and just take them down more and more. Meanwhile, it looks like the carrier was helping us out, our division mate, very good. Though, as I say, with carrier play though, you definitely want to be shooting an overall macro perspective and covering the whole map, not just your division mate. It's not easy playing, if you're playing a CV, you're playing a division, your goal is to win the game. Your goal is not to help your teammate unless he is pivotal to winning the game. Likely that is a chance that he will be helping the game, but you gotta be focusing on that. Now the Yamato, our Lexington just took down the First with flooding. As you see, the damage over time effect is kicking in pretty hardcore, and the Yamato, we're making a break for it here. This is gonna hurt us here, potentially, if he shoots at us. Oh, okay. Lexington just blaps him to oblivion with his ridiculously good HE bombs. It's amazing he's still off that thing, insane. But we're gonna do what we can. Conqueror fires, he's firing HE, so there's really not much we can do about it, so we're just gonna take it at an angle here. And we're pretty happy with that. We've got the AP loaded, we did all the straight immediate damage because that's what we needed. Ooh, Alaska! Okay. Because we are focused a little bit too much on the other side of flank, we need to look at every macro, a full map perspective, really. Realistically, that could be the end of us right there and then. I recommend, again, not always possible, well, it is possible, but it's not always something we always think of, but every, like, when it comes to fast firing ships, every, like, 2 salvos, take a look at the map, your wee mini map, and just see what's going on. Because if we did that, I think if we did, we would have known there's Alaska there, maybe we could have prepared for it. But to be honest, I don't think there's much we could have done there. We maybe could have avoided it, but hey, we all make mistakes from time to time, we're only human. So, Alaska here, angling, he's pretty well angled, so we're just going to Daka him down with HE. Again, we don't have the Colbert HE, we have a pretty good penning HE. We're going to get as much as we can, we've got a lot of guns, we've got a lot of Daka, and we've got plenty of time to put him down. We switched AP because it looks like he's giving us a broadside, or about to at least, but it looks like he's turning back in, so we're going to switch back to HE and see what we can do to burn him down. Back more. He's not much health left, there's not much you can do, potentially ram us at this point, but I believe just with our front guns we have enough damage to just take him out. Bismarck takes the kill, it doesn't really matter as long as he's dead, that's all that really matters. So we're actually up to 163k, that's a pretty sizable amount of damage, I'm happy with that. And just most of that is not been free pen damage, though it has been a factor. 14 fires that have been really allowed to do the work. Notice as well the carriers kind of stayed away from us. They really just can't. You just can't deal with this A gun range. The thing about the Worcester that beats other boats like Minotaur and Colbert for AA damage is more. It's A effective range. It's got like a 7 kilometer A range, which is really good. I think Minotaur is similar to this, but I still think Worcester is one of the king of the crop when it comes to AA damage, more for the range, because as soon as the carrier gets within comfortable viewing range, you're already shooting down the aircraft, and it's pretty rough in that regard. It's just such a big no-fly zone. I played against the Worcester and as the Worcester, and it's so effective. The AA, if you are in a carrier game, you're playing the Worcester, it's such a really good tool to deal with anti-aircraft guns. Of course, the main guns are dual purpose, so even if you're under a lot of HE shells, HE bombardment, you lose a lot of AA amounts, your main guns will still be the majority for AA. So you've got really good AAs, Worcester. I can't stress that point enough. It's really quite competitive. With the new legendary tier carrier coming out, we'll have to see how effective Worcester AA is, because that's basically our coup d'etat when it comes to AA. Worcester, Colbert, and Minotaur are basically the best that we have at the minute. So we'll have to see what a full A spec build Worcester will do to the carrier of the legendary variety, the Kaga, I believe. Now, Odin's pushing in here. We got to give Odin some respect. Yes, only 305s, but we got to give that respect. To the best angle. Again, 32mm plating, and we believe we have 32mm deck as well. Give me 27 now. As you see, angling will pay you off here. It's actually pretty tanky for a light cruiser, and we can get some serious work done here. Floaty shells, but really good kind of floaty here. This situation, we can lob shells over the island into that Odin. Only one shell hits there, but we can keep firing. We've got plenty Daka, should we say. He's firing HE, which is a smart idea. We're taking a lot of damage here. We're actually looking hidden here, but he's still shooting at us, and he's getting a lot of blind fires. He's getting a lot of results. There we go. We take down the Odin before he becomes a major threat to us. But the mains is consistently getting good hits on us because of that quarter pen. It's pretty darn devastating, the HE pens that the mains can dish out. So we're going to push up here. We're still not very healthy, but at this point I think the game is already over. We've got the final cap here. We're going to cap this in peace as much as we can, and then yeah, we're just going to push forward to see. I'm just trying to find out what our detection for the plane detection is, I believe, because we are going to get spotted by the CV, which means we don't have a choice. We're just going to keep shooting. Even if we wanted to go dark, we couldn't because of the planes. And at this point, we're just going to go for it. The mains is preoccupied with someone else. I believe there's a battleship who's more interested in killing the mains, and from the mains perspective, I wouldn't be shooting me, I would be shooting the battleship that's trying to kill you. Carrier is available to be shot at. We've actually got good island cover here, so there's no downside really to shooting right now. And we can get some good reliable fires on the Implacable. Our AP at this distance probably won't do as much as we'd like it to do. It might, but I think the HE is just a more consistent ammunition type for this particular target. We're going to blind fire again here. We know roughly where he is. Oh right, he's already popped up, that's fine. We're just going to keep on the Daka here, try and get the damage control, because CVs don't have control over damage control, so we're just going to keep working on the Daka here. We're already up to 176k. We're doing some sizable chunk damage. At this point, it's just damage farming here. We've got island cover. This is what we've been doing the whole game, really. Just shooting over the island, relatively undetected, and we're just getting just mountains of work done. Again, we can't really see them that well. We can't really look over the island, so it's kind of more guesswork using the mini-map. But you fire enough shells, some of them will hit. Eventually, some of it will stick, as the term goes. So, oh, there we go. We got a good, better view of him now. We're just landing a little bit short, so we need to give him a little bit more lead. We're just getting him a little bit higher up because he's turning away. And we should get some connects soon. Again, just a little travel time, but not as much as some other ships, like the Colbert, for example. Only one hit, but hey, only one hit is better than no hits at all. And there we go. We get 3, 5, 6, 7 more hits. It's 8 more hits, sorry. And that's double fire straight away, which he cannot repair. It looks like he's already used his damage control. And double fire against high HP ships is going to be some good damage there. So that's plenty of farming over there. Potential. Mains is popping into play. Looks like we're not going to able to shoot the carrier much longer. The time taken for the shells to actually reach there will probably run out of range. Fire one more Hail Mary shot. Really, you're probably not going to get the connects there. It's worth a try though. And then we're going to go back to the mains. And we're spotted by planes, so it doesn't really matter if we stop shooting. We're just going to continue here and do what we can. We're actually being blind. Well, oh, we got the Implacable down. Very good. Double fire. Mains is still trying to blind shot us. Again, it's a pretty good idea. I think the mains is played quite well, at least in trying to kill us. I don't know the rest of the battle, but I think he played quite well trying to get rid of us. I'm pretty sure the sailors on my ship are not happy about that mains. So yeah, we're just going to keep firing him. He's only got a ship left here. We're just going to keep dapping him down and see what we can get. At some point, he's going to have to take a couple of hits, even if he's dodging as much as he can. Just with the pure amount of volume of shells in the air, we can do what we can here. Again, pushing forward here is kind of enticing him to go forward, because the game's going to end in 44 seconds anyway. I don't think he's going to kill us. He sees us, he's definitely going to shoot. And at this range, we can dodge our shells as well, but he doesn't have as many shells as we do, so we're just going to much Daka. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all she wrote. We're just trying to dodge the shells and survive as long as possible. You know, we could go dark, and probably it's a fair way to go dark here, but I don't think he can kill us in this time. I don't think he can land enough shells. We've got fire there. We're gonna do that damage control there. He's hugging the map border. We've got a Yamato right in front of us. And it looks like the Yamato's going to do some nasty damage to him. We're still taking a couple more hits, but I think we're fine. There we go. So, 210k the Worcester, 435 shell hits, 18 fires, 3.3 base, with 3 kills, high caliber, and a witherer. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Just got a good example of how the Worcester's played and how much damage you can really rack up with it if you get the right situations. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.